What's up? It's your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, but I can't be your son. It's your kinfolk, William Jewell. And I ain't taking no L's. This is articulating. This is articulating. Rap. How y'all doing? I hope y'all having a great weekend. I hope y'all prospering. I hope y'all building. I hope y'all linking and, networking and creating these relationships that's going to help you get further in life, right? Because we all need friendships. We all need relationships. And we all need great integrity and great character surrounding us so we can build, so we can be better, and so we can achieve the things that we want to achieve. What they say, go fast, you go alone. Go further as a group, go further, go together. And I'm trying to grow with people. I'm trying to go with people. I'm not trying to be by myself on this journey because I feel like it will be that much more exciting. It would be that much more interesting, that much more enjoyable if I could share the fruits of my labor, if I could share the blessings with those loved ones, with those people that have supported me, that have helped me, and that have continued to give me that motivation and encouragement I need along the way. So this is your motivation, this is your encouragement, and this is your good word to keep going, to keep flourishing, to keep evolving, and keep adapting, and keep growing. William Jewell, I'm just trying to give y'all those mental jewels before we get started. So, it's going to be about rap. It's going to be about music. Like I said, I'm going to try to navigate around the mess, around the drama. But at the same time, I have to hold these people accountable. And it's my job to speak on this because this is articulating rap. And what better way to detail the mess? What better way to detail the drama and detail the things that's going on in the hip hop industry? Because we need to put a magnifying glass on it because a lot of our youngins are listening to it. Even our peers, even our colleagues are listening to it and they start to get things misconstrued. The people on the social media, they think the man is supposed to fly him out and buy everything and not expect any sex. They're starting to get things misconstrued. These men, they want to lay up with the women, take their car on a stroll while they're at work and they don't want to work. They get things misconstrued. So who am I not to give y'all the facts, not to give it to y'all the right way? And salute to Meek Mill, man. Salute to Meek Mill for standing on business, for standing 10 toes down because they trying to throw him under the rug. They trying to throw him under the bus. DJ Academics, a dude named Rob that's trying to sue Puff Daddy over some credits that he didn't get on some musical production. They trying to throw Meek Mill in that quicksand and they want him to sink. However, he dropped heathenism. He gave himself his own life rap. He dropped heathenism and he gave himself a life jacket to stay afloat. And it was the perfect time to drop because everybody was talking about him. Everybody was talking about the mess and he's an easy target. Because the Drake fans, they still have a nasty taste in their mouth. The Nicki fans, they still have a nasty taste in their mouth about Meek. And whoever Meek has beefed with, whoever he's gone after in music or on the internet, these people still have a foul taste in their mouth when it comes to Meek Mill, right? The awkwardness, right? The silliness, the goofiness, the Meek Mill, his posture, the way he carries himself, is like, it's funny and it's easy to poke fun of, but this is a real man. This is a real man trying to put out great music, trying to do it independently. This is a real man that stood up for prison reform. This is a real man that had to do that probation for 10 plus years over something that happened when he was 19 years old. This is a real man. Are we forgetting about the What Would Meek Do documentary? Are we forgetting about the Robert Kraft the Michael Rubins? Are we forgetting about the Jay-Z's? Are we forgetting about what Meek Mill has been able to garner in this rap industry? We need to hold this man to a different regard. We need to have a different reverence. And I know D1 called out the hypocrisies in his music when him and Rick Ross dropped the Shaq and Kobe, when he was talking about murder, when he was talking about drugs, when he was talking about the streets, and he's supposed to be for prison reform. But let this man paint the picture. Let this man detail what his life was about. Let this man tell his story without having the ridicule from others. And I get it. Sometimes it can be poison if it's heard through the wrong ears. If it's heard through the ears that aren't mature enough to understand what they're listening to. But Meek Mill, he needs different reverence from us. And I think he's getting back on point. I think he's getting back on pace with this Heathenism EP. 5-piece, 5 tracks. And I just like what Meek Mill did. He gave us that wins and losses flow. A little bit of singing. They want to see me fall, but I would never sell my soul. When he did Came From the Bottom, like when Meek Mill sing a little bit, right? Just a little auto-tune, just a sprinkle of it. I feel like it really cuts you deep. You can really feel it in your heart. And Came From the Bottom, that was the introduction song that set the tone, right? And I believe Future has one of the verses of the year, right? I feel like Freddie Gibbs on the Yeezy Vultures 1 album has the #1 verse of the year. But I feel like Future is in a #2 spot on the feature Giving Chanel. And then we can't forget about the Big Boy song. But I want to dive a little bit more into that Future song, because Meek Mill is known for being lyrical. He's known for being a great rapper, but we let the trapper, we let Future, the people who don't believe he should be in the top 4 with Kendrick, Cole, and Drake, the people who brush his accomplishments aside, the people who turn a blind eye to what Future has done in his rap industry. But I dare you to go listen to this verse. I dare you to listen to what he's saying and how he's flowing and how he's using those double words to give you that energy, to give you that emphasis. Like, I think Future is being overlooked, and this is a #2 verse of the year for me. So I believe you got Meek, he got this 5-piece. I believe 3 of the tracks are outstanding. He has this great Future feature. So this is a good momentum push. This is a good momentum shift for him into this 2024. Hopefully he will release an album, solo album. I know he did the collaboration with Ross, but his name is being mentioned. Meek is being talked about, and he had to do those. He had to release it. Right? Because what better time to release it than when everybody's saying his name on the internet? But we need to have a better feel for Meek Mill. I feel like he's thrown under the bus. He's being ridiculed. He's being improperly talked about, joked about, and we're not taking him serious. And he is a man that deserves some seriousness from the people. You know, the prison reform, that's a lot to say right there. You know, he stands for the justice of his people. He stands for the equality and the fairness. And I feel like we're not taking that serious. We think he's a joke, and everything he does and everything he says, we're laughing at it. You know, we love the music, but I feel like Meek Mill as a person, he deserves more of our attention. He deserves more of our respect, and he deserves better from the culture. So shout out to Meek. Much respect to Heathenism. Keep going. Keep pushing on your independent journey. Keep flourishing, my brother. Love, peace, and blessings. And then we get to Schoolboy Q. Right, Schoolboy Q, the member of TDE. Schoolboy Q, who's supposed to uphold the crown that Kenny's love. Schoolboy Q, who we have high expectations of. Schoolboy Q, who also has been gone for 5+ years before this recent album, Blue Lips. Schoolboy Q, who I've been talking to you about for the last couple of podcasts. introduce some of his new music. I talked about when this release was going to be. I've had high hopes for him. And the question is, did he reach my expectations? Well, before I answer that question, I do want to say this music was very refreshing, right? Because we don't get to hear this music from some of our guys that take this time off, right? That creates that balance in the rap game, that creates that variety that we need, because it sounds like a lot of music is the same, but at the same time, we have guys like Schoolboy Q that's not dropping consistently, so we're not getting this consistent music. So just to hear from him, it was a breath of fresh air, right? Because it was a different sound. Hearing his voice again was a different texture, and just the energy, the vibes from that Cali, that SoCal region that, you know, other regions don't give you. It's always good to feel the vibes and feel the originality, especially from certain artists from a certain era, but they can still blend in their sounds to bring everybody along to the journey with them. And I believe that's what Schoolboy Q, he blended in his sounds. He created those samples, those Alchemist type samples, those samples that you hear that Griselda uses, right? He used some of those samples and he combined them with that hardcore hip hop. He combined them with that heavy bass, right? He combined them with a lot of drums, that energy, that Cali energy, that Cali buzz. So I believe this was a good combination of production. I love the production. I believe when he was able to go in and out of those patterns, in and out of those flows, and just in and out of those vibes, that was the great thing about the production. But I also see where it didn't serve a good purpose for the album's cohesiveness, because it was a lot of ups and downs. It was a lot of ebbs and flows. And to be honest, on the first listen, I really didn't care for this album too much. I knew it was good music, but I didn't know how to really like articulate it. I really didn't know what I was listening to, so I had to continue listening for another spin and another spin to really grasp the depth of which Schoolboy Q went into. And I believe he went deep. I believe he did the risk taking that I call on for every artist to do. I believe he took a risk. I believe he shaked the dice. I believe he gambled. I believe he played the card down and told the dealer to draw four. I believe he did whatever it took for him to create something different than what was expected of him, from what was expected of himself, and then just to build on his legacy and on his career as a rap artist. So I believe he was able to achieve what he wanted to achieve with this album. Did it reach the expectations that I had? Unfortunately, I would say it hovers right below the expectations that I had of Schoolboy Q and TDE at this time, because I felt like the album was great. The songs were great, and even how he weaved in and out with those flows and those patterns and the pockets, as my boy Timo would say. I believe that was cool, but the way it was orchestrated, right? The way it was curated, the way that it was put together was a little bit more offsetting. So the complete flow of an album in totality, I feel like that's what it was missing. So if I have to be nitpicky, if I have to articulate and detail my thoughts on this album, then yes, that's the reason why I like this album, but I really couldn't love it, right? And I believe it will grow on me. I believe this is a top 3 album anyways. So I do believe with Vultures, with 21 Savage, American Dream, I believe we can put Schoolboy Q in that top 3. Let Benny the Butcher move over to 5. And I got La Russell and Hit Boy at 4. So this is This is a bigger album, a little bit more tracks, so you have to give it an in-depth listen. So I do believe that Schoolboy did his thing. I think this is a good comeback album. This is something that he gonna be able to tour on. This is something that may be able to help him reach different type of fans. So this is a risk-taking album, which, you know, made him vulnerable as far as how people would perceive his music and perceive what he's doing with his craft and perceive like, damn, you took all this time off to drop this. So I believe he was careful with his sound and how he wanted it to sound, but just the way it was lined up seemed a little bit messy or out of order to me. But great album. Schoolboy. What's next for TDE? I hope it's J-Rock. But do I feel like with this album, Schoolboy should be crowned? No. He should not be crowned after this album. Right? Because to be honest, it could have been better. Right? It was some elements that was missing from this album. But as far as the risk taking, as far as the production, as far as the lyrics, as far as everything you want in a rap album, it was there. But as far as certain energies, just that overall feel to it of, you know, the purpose and the passion. Like, I could tell he wanted to rap, but that something was missing. One of those elements was missing, whether it been the purpose, the passion, or just the vision of which he wanted to go. I believe there were some blurred lines in those elements, and that's what took away from this album. So from that standpoint, I can't give him the crown. I can't give him the weight of TDE. I can't put it on his shoulders. And I can't put the blame on him either. Somebody said he was missing Kendrick because Kendrick would have helped him orchestrate and curate this album better than it was. But you don't have K-Dot anymore. You don't have that help anymore. And you got to do it yourself. You got to learn how to do it yourself. And we like Punch. We like Top Dog. But we know Kendrick was responsible for curating that Black Panther soundtrack. We know that Kendrick's ear and choice of music also is what makes him the great artist, and his presence, you could tell, because him and Schoolboy are great friends, you could tell that his presence is missing on this album, and I think that's what this album is actually missing. It's missing Kendrick's presence and his guidance. So y'all can take that to the bank. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say about that. Why do I gotta make this about Kendrick Lamar? This is Schoolboy's Q time in the spotlight. This is his time to shine. But you can't talk about TDE and you can't talk about the other artists that were in the Black Hippie without mentioning K-Dot, because he was the one. He was the Lil Wayne out of the Hot Boys, right? He was the one that eventually outshined them all. So if we're going to talk about Hot Boys, if we're going to talk about BG, Juvie, or Turk, we're going to talk about Lil Wayne. So if we're going to talk about Schoolboy, Ab-Soul, or J-Rock, we're going to talk about Kendrick. And that's the respect that he's earned over the years. So, man, Schoolboy, good job. But I don't believe that this is the album that's going to put you over that threshold to me. This is not the album that's going to put you in that next level. I feel like you're staying consistent as far as the quality of music you're putting out, but I don't think this is a step up from Blank Face or a step up from Oxymoron. So that's my view of it, totality. Mexican OT, I didn't get to listen to it, right? A lot of my friends from the Houston area, a lot of my friends from Texas have been telling me about the Mexican OT. He's with Paul Wall. He's, with a legendary Houston artist. And I just want to give it a shout out. I haven't listened to it. I planned on listening to it, but I really just had to sit with that Schoolboy Q so I could give it a good analysis and a good dissection. I really had to listen to that Meek Mill, although it came out in the middle of the week. So, I mean, that's my reasoning behind not being able to listen to this Mexican OT. But, a lot of people have told me good things about him. And, I got to support Texas. I got to support the neighborhood. I got to support our state. I got to support down south. So, Mexican OT, I'm going to check you out. Keep doing your thing. And salute to Texas. Cardi B. Right? That Cardi B freestyle. And I talked about Schoolboy missing the purpose, the passion, the vision, the drive. It was some elements missing in that album. But even in this Cardi B freestyle, I did not like it. I did not like it because it just seemed like rapping. Feel like rapping with no enthusiasm, with no feel to it, with no emotion ties to the beat, right? This is a Missy Elliott beat. Missy is a legend. Missy is somebody we uphold in very great regard. Missy is somebody we should uplift. And you're going to approach a Missy sample with lack of passion, with lack of purpose, with lack of energy? No. You cannot do our queens that way. No, you cannot do Missy Elliott lazy. And when you doing something for Missy Elliott, you gotta have the attention. You gotta have the attention to detail, because that's what Missy was great at. And if you're gonna pay homage to a legend, if you're gonna get on the track and do a freestyle, I need to hear that in your voice. I need to hear that conviction. And I don't hear the genuineness. I don't hear the authenticity. And that's what this freestyle is missing. Pussy real fat got a double chin? Come on now. Cardi B, you can do better. But I do like the reference, Pimp C reference that you made is top notch chick. Get the most, not the less. I do respect that. But pussy real fat got a double chin. And my question to the men and to the women out there, does a fat poo nanny means it's a good poo nanny? Right? Does it mean it's going to be wet? Does it mean it's going to be warm? Does it mean it's going to keep you coming back? You know what I'm saying? Or is it just the look that's pretty? Or is it just the look that's intimidating? Or is it just the look of it that makes you think that it's going to be good? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if a fat poo nanny or a fat vagina is going to get me aroused, is going to get me erected because I see it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that means that I'm going to be in for a good night. I mean, it might look tempting. It might look, you know what I'm saying, nice, depending on your perspective. But I don't believe bragging on your poo nanny or your labia major or minor being fat means that that's top notch, means that that's A1. So can y'all fill me in with that? Maybe I'm missing something. I know there's something that's in the culture that we've always said, oh, she got that cow toe, oh, she got that fat one. But what does that mean when we get into the inside of it? You know what I'm saying? So y'all help me articulate that to myself. So Cardi B, I love my women rappers too. I love Megan. I love Nicki. I believe Lotto is refreshing. I like Ice Spice. I like Coi Leray. I love Rhapsody. I love these women. And I want to show these women love. I want to show them compassion. I want to show them that we got their back. I want to show them that I'm willing to protect and I'm willing to stand up for their rights and their humanity, and for men to treat them a certain way. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to be a strong black man and set the example for the youngins to come after me. But if I'm going to do so, you have to play your part as well. If I'm going to play my part, you have to play your part as well. Right? And playing that part means you also uplifting, you also giving the positivity, and you also giving those little girls some things to take with them out into this world so they can be successful. Right? Not just one type of rapping, not just some type of substance. Right? You know what I'm saying? Let's give us a little bit more. And we're going to stand with y'all, and we're going to stand united. Right? Because on the male side, it's not all drug, sex, gun violence. It's not all that side. So I feel like we need a little bit more from those women. And I know we got women that rap differently. We got Saba the Goddess. We got Rhapsody. Right? We got No Name. We got these different women. But I just wish more light was shared upon them. And I want to walk with all of the women. You know what I'm saying? Not as a playboy, not as a fly guy, but just as somebody they can respect, as somebody they can count on, and you know, I can give them my shoulder if they need help, you know, walking through these trenches. So shout out to the women in rap, and shout out Cardi B. But this is Missy Elliott, and I believe Missy Elliott deserved more. I believe Missy Elliott should be treated like a queen, and everything she touched was gold, and we gotta keep shining it. We gotta keep rubbing that gold to make sure that it's pristine. When you touch this gold, you need to be shining it up. And that's what Missy Elliott deserves. That's what Trina deserves. That's what Eve deserves. That's what Foxy Brown deserves. That's what Lil' Kim deserves. And dare I say it, that's what Nicki Minaj deserves. So y'all need to kiss and make up and be friends, because y'all can build more together than being separate. I truly believe that. And y'all should build with Saweetie too. She said nobody cares about her music. And that really hurt me. That really touched me deep, because as a musician, as an artist, and you're putting out music and nobody shows any consideration, nobody really cares to listen, it's disheartening and it's discouraging. It's hard to be motivated to rap. It's hard to be inspired to do more music and to take risk. But as an artist, as a creative, you gotta keep hitting the pavement. You gotta keep hitting that drawing board. You gotta keep coming up with different formulas and different methods to achieve those type of goals. So Saweetie, don't keep your head down. Don't worry about these people that aren't listening to your music. Just continue to get better in your craft. Just continue to mold and shape your music that is form-fitting for you, your personality, what you want the world to hear from you, your message, your overall take on life and the industry. So, Saweetie, don't get your head down, lift your chin up, and, you know, stay focused. Keep being pretty, keep being beautiful, keep being you, and stop playing these dudes. Because I feel like somebody played Quavo. I feel like something was played between Quavo and Offset, and maybe that could have been the reason why nobody cared about your music. Maybe it was some blackball going on between Cardi B and Saweetie, but you know, nobody spoke about it, nobody said anything about it. But when we put a magnifying glass on it and look at it a little bit clearer, it doesn't seem clear at all. It seems very dusty. Seems very dirty, very foggy through this lens. Did Cardi B intentionally blackball Saweetie from what happened between Quavo and Offset? Because that was the rumor. And now we look at what she did musically, and now we look at what she's saying now. I believe she's asking for a life jacket. I believe she's asking for a float, right? And her beauty has been able to keep her walking on water. Her beauty has been able to keep her uplifted. But we know music seems to be her passion. And to think that nobody cares, that hurts. So that's all I got for music today. That's all I wanted to discuss. I'm going to be having some guests. I added a new mic. And I want to talk more with different people. I want to get some of their fan base. I want to add to my subscriptions. So I want to talk to my wife, give some insight from a lady's perspective. I want to talk to T-Mo, right? I want to talk to Rusty, right? I want to talk to my kinfolk, Dirty Red. I want to talk to Creep. I want to talk to some of these local artists, Muddy Man Tony. I want to talk to some of these local artists, right? And not just local artists, but just interesting people. And I got that second mic so they could come to this place and we could have a conversation. We could talk a little bit more. And then from that, we swap fan bases. We continue to build the craft. We continue to build the quality of what I'm delivering, because it's all an incline press, right? If you haven't already, make sure you get the book, right? Make sure you go to Amazon.com. You can go to GodsWillFitness.com. Go to my shop. You can get a signed copy. But just make sure that you check it out. Listen to it on Apple. Listen to it on Audible. Anywhere you can get your audio books. You know, I did that for y'all. I did that for the people. I had a lot of experiences in training. I had a lot of experiences in the fitness world, and I wanted to share that with the world. I wanted to share that with the people that might have needed it to grow, to get better, to elevate, to improve, and just to climb those mountains, to get over those lumps, to heal from those bruises. So I wanted to make sure that this was some type of medicine. This was some type of healing formula, a format that people could take into their workout, that people could take into their nutrition and whatever they do from a health standpoint and get better. So that's the incline press. Thank y'all. Articulating rap. I tried to hold it up, but I couldn't hold it up all the way. Got the articulating rap shirt on. And I'm going to try to get some merch to y'all too. So y'all don't sleep on that. I'm going to get some AR merch. So y'all can support me by subscribing. Y'all can support me by getting the merch and just sharing it, right? You know, sharing the clips in your stories, sharing the clips on your Facebook, or just if I make a post, share that post. And y'all been doing real good about that. I really appreciate y'all, but I need 100 subscribers by the end of this month, right? And the goal is to get 1,000 by the end of this year. So if I can get that, then that's confirmation, that's validation that I need to keep going, that I need to keep pressing on with this podcast. So if y'all can give me that, help me get there, then we just gonna keep on moving. We're gonna keep on pushing. This is William Jewell, L, and I ain't taking no L's. This is articulating. This is articulating. Rap, rap, rap.